Welcome to the Sand Science Experience podcast, where we explore the latest and most exciting papers and preprints in science. Before we dive in today, please take just a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support the Sand Science Experience and lets us keep doing these deep dives. Okay, so today we're looking at a really fascinating paper. It's titled, Inactivation of the Dream Complex Mimics the Molecular Benefits of Sleep. It's by Valentin and colleagues. Our mission for you today as we explore this is really to unpack how messing with our body clock, sleep disruption, can cause problems deep down at the cellular level. And also how understanding this one specific molecular complex, dream, might actually open up, new ways to help restore health. We've all been there, right? After a terrible night's sleep, you feel awful. Brain fog, no energy, just burned off. But what's really going on inside our cells then? This research points to a pretty surprising cellular switch that seems to handle the good stuff sleep does for us. And yeah, you guessed it, things go wrong when that switch gets kind of stuck on. Okay, so let's get into it. We all know sleep is important, obviously. But this paper, it really drives home the huge impact of a messed up circadian clock and just not getting enough sleep, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's way more than just feeling tired. The research connects problems with the body clock and sleep loss to a whole spectrum of health issues. Things like cognition, our immune system. It's really body-wide.
The body-wide impact.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And what's really neat about the study is how they modeled it. They use C. elegans, those tiny worms.
Right, the nematode worm.
Exactly. They induced a moderate clock disruption. Not a total shutdown, but something more like, real world stuff, jet lag, shift work, that kind of thing. They did this by tweaking a gene called LIN42. It's pretty similar to the PER gene in us, in humans, which helps run our clocks.
Yeah.
And they found this moderate disruption really hammered muscle function in worms that were already stressed, specifically with something called proteostasis stress.
Proteostasis stress. Can you just quickly break that down?
Yeah, sure. So proteostasis is basically the cell keeping its proteins in good shape, folded correctly, cleared out when damaged. Stress happens when that system gets overwhelmed, like proteins misfolding and clumping up. Think Alzheimer's, Huntington's, that's a big part of those diseases.
Got it. So the clock disruption made that protein stress worse in the worms.
Precisely. And crucially, it wasn't just the worms. They observed similar kinds of patterns in mouse brains and even in human retinal cells. So it seems pretty fundamental.
Wow. So yeah, things like jet lag or just a few bad nights, it's not just an inconvenience. Our cells are actually, feeling it.
Yeah, it's the takeaway, yeah.
So if this clock disruption is causing all this cellular stress, what did the researchers identify as the key player, the main switch causing these downstream effects?
Right, this is where the dream complex comes in, or DRM as it's called in C. elegans. It's this group of proteins working together. In mammals, that includes things like DP, RB-like, E2F4, and MUV-B subunits. They basically regulate which genes get turned on or off.
Okay, the dream complex.
And the really cool part, its levels naturally go up and down with our circadian rhythm. Dream is high when we're awake, and then it drops down when we sleep. It's a built-in cycle.
High during wake, low during sleep. So what's it actually doing at those different times? How does that affect the cell?
Well, during wakefulness, when dream levels are high, it causes the chromatin in our cell nucleus to get more tightly packed.
Chromatin. That's our DNA and the proteins around it, right?
Exactly, like DNA wound tightly on spools. This compaction, it acts almost like a shield. It protects the DNA from damage, like oxidative stress, which is higher when we're active and using energy.
Okay, so protection during the day.
But then, during sleep, dream levels go down. The chromatin relaxes, it opens up, and that relaxation is critical. It allows the cell's repair crews, essentially, to get in and fix things like DNA damage. That kind of repair is often suppressed during the day when everything's packed tight.
Okay. That makes so much sense. So sleep isn't just passive rest. The cells are actively switching modes. Repair mode on, shield mode off.
You got it. And dream is conducting that whole switch.
So if dream is meant to cycle like this, what happens when things go wrong? When sleep gets disrupted or the clock is off? Like chronic shift work or insomnia.
Yeah, that's the problem they pinpointed. The study found that when sleep or the clock is messed up, dream levels stay high. They don't drop like they should.
So the shield stays up.
Exactly. The chromatin stays compacted and those vital repair processes remain suppressed. The repair crew basically can't get access when they need to. And over time, this leads to cellular damage and eventually problems for the whole organism.
Right. Did they show that experimentally?
They did. In the worms, when they disrupted the clock using that Lin-42 trick, they saw more histones, those spool proteins, and changes in chromatin structure consistent with it staying compact. But here's the key bit. When they then blocked parts of the DRM complex genetically, like targeting Lin-9 or Lin-54, it actually rescued the muscle problems caused by the clock disruption.
Wow, so inhibiting dream fixed the damage from the broken clock.
It strongly suggests that having dream stuck in the high state is directly causing the decline, not just correlated with it.
That's a big finding. Okay, so dream is clearly important for this DNA protection repair balance. But does it do other things too? How wide is its influence?
Great question. And yes, it seems to be involved in a lot more. Its influence is really broad. When they looked at various cellular functions that were suppressed by clock disruption, inhibiting dream seemed to restore them pretty consistently.
Like what kind of functions?
All sorts of fundamental things. Detoxification pathways, how cells handle toxins, antioxidant responses like glutathione metabolism, also metabolic flexibility, things like glycolysis, how cells use sugar, and fatty acid oxidation, how they use fat. Energy production itself, like the TCA cycle and OXPHOS in the mitochondria.
So energy, detox, what else?
Even the extracellular matrix, specifically collagens, which give tissues their structure. And basic stuff like reading genes, polystat transcription, splicing RNA, making proteins with ribosomes, both in the mitochondria and the main cell. It's really fundamental machinery.
Goodness. Okay, that explains why chronic sleep loss hits so hard and affects so many different health areas. Metabolism, brain function, maybe even aging. It sounds like Deary is connecting the dots.
It certainly looks like a central hub connecting the clock to all these core cellular processes.
Now, they looked at worms, mice, and human cells. That consistency across species. What does that tell us?
It tells us this is likely a very old, very conserved, and therefore very important biological mechanism. The fact that the dream complex plays this role in mediating sleep and circadian benefits across such different life forms, well, it means it's probably fundamental to how many animals, including us, function.
Did they confirm it in mice and human cells too?
Yep. In mice, they saw dream levels go up and down with sleep and wakefulness, and importantly, sleep deprivation stopped the levels from dropping during the rest period. And in human retinal cells, they disrupted the clock gene, PER1, saw problems, and then used a drug called Harmine, which is known to inhibit dream, and it rescued those problems.
Harmine, a drug. So it worked pharmacologically too.
Yes. And interestingly, Harmine didn't fix the broken clock itself. It worked downstream. It basically counteracted the negative effects of dreams staying too high.
So it mitigated the damage.
Exactly. They even went back to the worms and showed Harmine could reverse the paralysis caused by clock disruption there, too.
Okay, this is leading to the big question. Could we potentially use something like Harmine, a dream inhibitor, to sort of mimic the cellular benefits of sleep? Maybe for people who can't get enough sleep, like shift workers.
That's certainly the implication, and it's a really exciting prospect. The data suggests that, yes, dream inhibitors could potentially replicate some of those key restorative effects at the cellular level, especially when sleep is disrupted.
But it's not a replacement for sleep, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Sleep is way too complex for that. Brain functions, memory consolidation, all sorts of things. But this could maybe offer a targeted way to reduce the cellular damage from unavoidable sleep loss or clock disruption. A temporary support, perhaps.
Right, a way to mitigate harm.
And thinking about that harm, we need to remember that high dream isn't just bad. It has that crucial protective role during the day.
Yes, the dual role you mentioned, the trade-off.
Exactly. It's a biological balancing act. Yeah. Wakefulness, high dream, compact chromatin, DNA shielded from the stresses of being active, sleep. Low dream, relaxed chromatin, repair mechanisms activated.
Protection versus repair, timed perfectly.
Precisely. And the study showed this balance clearly. If you inhibited dream all the time in human cells, you actually saw signs of DNA damage, genotoxic stress markers went up.
Because the shield was down all the time.
Right. But conversely, having high dream protected the worms from UV damage. And in mice, during normal sleep, DNA damage markers went down, while repair markers went up, a pattern totally disrupted by sleep deprivation when dream stayed high.
It really is an elegant system. Evolution figured out this molecular timer to switch between shielding and repairing. It really underscores why messing with our natural sleep-wake cycle can be so problematic.
It does. Respecting that cycle seems pretty fundamental for keeping ourselves healthy.
Well, this has been an absolutely incredible deep dive. Understanding the dream complex as this central player really changes how you think about sleep, doesn't it? And it opens up some really interesting possibilities for intervention.
It really does. The potential to modulate dream, maybe in a very time-specific way, to help offset the cellular fallout from sleep loss. It's a powerful idea. Maybe future research could even find ways to target specific sleep-related subunits of dream for even more precise therapies, helping us stay resilient even when modern life makes consistent sleep difficult.
Definitely something to think about as you hopefully get a good night's sleep tonight. Or maybe something to explore in your next deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us for this exploration. And remember, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more insights into the latest science. Your support is what makes the Sand Science experience possible.